Hey, live on Pat Soundbytes Unplugged podcast, keeping new music alive. That's what I do. There's great new music out there. And what a show I got lined up for you today. I am honored, way excited. Been playing two tracks from this killer album. Well, let's talk about it really quick. The Winery Dogs third album is out February 3rd. If you follow me, I've been blasting Xanadu and blasting Mad World, and I have purchased it the minute I got a chance to hear about it, and I can't wait to go to the show, and I am blessed to have on the on-deck circle. Look, he's rock legend. He's rock royalty. Mr. Billy Sheehan's on the on-deck circle, so I don't want to keep him waiting. You know what I do. I play the video, and I want you to share the video, hit the like button. We live in a video world. As you know, hit the like button. And then if you haven't heard this, I don't know where you have been. Sit tight. We're going to rock a little Winery Dogs for about 30 seconds, a little snippet of Mad World. Great track, Mad World, and I love all of it. Well, I got him on the on-deck circle. Like I said, he's rock royalty. His resume is through the roof. He's been voted by Guitar Player best rock bass player, not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 times. Billy, come on back. Billy Sheehan in the house.
How are you, Pat?
I am over the top when I got a chance to see this email come out, and I am over the top. Did everybody buy this yet? Oh my goodness. I love the artwork. I love everything about it. I love the tracks. As I said to Billy before, I know we're in February and I might not losing my mind, but this could be album of the year. So go purchase it today. Came out February 3rd on their label, Three Dog Music. And I've been playing the tracks. Oh, my God. Billy, thank you so much for your time. I know the tour starts tomorrow in Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're excited about it quite a bit. We've been rehearsing here for a couple of days, got it all together, trying to remember the lyrics, and we should have a great time. And then that starts a whole run a bit around the East Coast. Got a lot of shows in America, and then we go down to South America, and then I moved to the Western U.S. and the West Coast of the USA, and they're booking tons of shows. This tour is already spilling over into next year, so we're very excited about that.
That is excellent. I did see Latin America, and I see posts all over the place. Please come to Canada. As Billy said, they're doing tours left. They're posting shows left and right. Just be patient. I'm sure there'll be more shows, and I'm sure they'll be playing in Canada. I know. Absolutely. I'm going to New Jersey at the Newton Theater. Say hello to me Monday. I am not missing a show. Couldn't wait to get tickets. Oh my goodness, Billy! I got to meet you actually for about 5 minutes. Oh my God, February 2020 at the end of Sons of Apollo. I was a guest of Jeff Scott Soto. Got to hang out with you and Bumblefoot and Derek, and what a great show. It was right before the whole COVID thing, but you were gracious enough to allow me to take a picture with you. Great show with Tony. I can't think of his name. Right. Yeah.
McAlpine.
McAlpine. What a great show. But oh my goodness, this album. I always start out, Billy, really quick. How did you find your love for music, and what gravitated to that wonderful bass next to you?
Well, I had older brother and sisters, and they were into rock and roll, pre-Beatles, and Jerry Lee Lewis, the Everly Brothers, things like that. And then we had a band that lived around the corner from our home, a family that had two boys, and they were in bands. And Joe was a buddy of mine, and he was a bass player. He was a really cool guy. Had a Triumph motorcycle, beautiful girlfriend, and so I wanted to be like Joe. And he was a bass player, so I thought I want that. So then, soon after that, the Beatles came out, and everybody that saw that was a show launched 10 million musician. Everybody that saw the girl screaming for the Beatles said, "I want that job," and I thought the same. So I just started playing bass and getting in little local bands and playing copy tunes. And then eventually, as the years went by, started writing. I still love it as much or even more than ever. When I was when I was very young, people would knock on my apartment door and I'd answer the door with my bass on. And they say, "Well, don't you ever put that thing down?" I said, "No, not really. I'm working all the time. I love it." And even now, if I'm driving in my car somewhere, I got an idea. I got to get home and try this on bass, So I'm still as excited about playing as I ever was, again, if not more. And I'm very, very thankful. I don't know how that got built into me or how that happened, but I'm very thankful for it.
Well, they say it's not work if you love doing what you do. I love doing what I do. I can't get the smile off my face. I found my niche of playing new music, and I've never looked back. And it's opened so many doors to have the opportunity to chat with you and great bands and other musicians. And I am ecstatic. I just felt it was missing, and I mean, the minute I started doing it, it's like nonstop. I was getting 10 CDs a week from people I don't even know, but it's all good. I mean, were you a big fan of like John Entwistle, Les Claypool, Chris Squire, amongst the many of
all the early
Woolton?
Guys? Yeah, they're all mostly the ones that are still with us are all mostly friends of mine. There's a great bass community, a lot of people in it. In my early days, from the Yardbirds, Paul Samuel Smith, Jack Bruce, John Entwistle, Chris Squire, all the rock guys, and then other musicians as well. A lot of drummers, because bass and drums, as you know, that's the connector within every band. So a lot of drummers, great guitar players. I'm very lucky to have played with some really incredible, talented people, and they all left their mark on me, and still more to come. Now playing with Richie and Mike and the Winery Dogs, we're having a blast rehearsing here. I'm watching the drummer first always, and Mike Portnoy is a riot. We have a great time playing bass and drums together. And Richie singing like unbelievably. His voice is just so great. He did such a wonderful job on this record. I'm very, very proud of him, and his guitar playing too. So we're that influence is still coming fast and furious, and I still got a lot to learn on bass, and I'm pursuing it with vigor for sure.
Well, and that's pretty good. It's great to see. I see more of it, Billy, of great artists like yourself that, it's just not one band anymore. And I think it probably helps you grow as a musician to hear different styles and play with different musicians and expand and evolve into more, that you're not just doing the same thing every day, which could be great. I mean, your resume is through the roof. Talis, David Lee Roth, Mr. Big, amongst many others. And but I guess it's got to be incredible to have this opportunity to work with an abundance of great musicians and different genres here and there.
That's true. That's true. During the pandemic, I was recording tracks for people out of my home studio. They'd email me the files, and I'd put my bass on their song. And we played every genre you could imagine, and some you couldn't. It was hilarious, from fusion and progressive to classical to jazz to country, believe it or not. A lot of rock, a lot of hard rock, a lot of heavy rock. That's what I mostly do. But it was a great experience to play all that different stuff, because it meant I had to solve problems and figure things out in a different language. And that always helps a musician, I believe.
I'm not a musician, Billy, but I think, for me, with the whole pandemic, I'm interviewing folks, and I've seen a lot of bands and artists were so reluctant to put new music out because we're all locked down, and you're used to putting out an album and then you go on tour right away. And I'm like, no,
Yep.
no, put it out now because you got people's attention. So when you're up to the fourth song in the set list, then when you say, hey, I got a new song out, they're not running to get a beer and go take a leak. So they should know the whole album. Like this whole album, I mean, oh my goodness. I hope everybody go gets it. I love Billy, the artwork is incredible. This whole concept of 3 follows through everywhere. I mean, the world tour 2023. I mean, even the picture where they extend your hairlines to make it 3. I mean, the whole thing is just beautifully done. Talk to me about the artwork, Billy, if you can.
Yeah, that's mostly, I think, Mike's doing. Mike is not only plays drums amazingly, he does 1,000 other things within the band, and he's so handy to have. So he took the bull by the horns and came up with this idea, and we all loved it and said, let's go with it. Mike is a really essential element of every band he plays in, I believe, but certainly in the Winery Dogs. So, and on top of it, amazing drummer, and he sings great too. So we got our 3-part harmony together. It's very nice.
Oh my goodness, great hooks, amazing riffs, and yes, very strong and bold harmonies are right there. I love the videos. I love the production. I follow Mike. He's got his dog there. You got Rebel. You packed up everything. I follow you on Instagram. I think you maybe took every cable in the house. You got everything but Rebel going on tour with you.
Yeah, I needed, well, this is the first tour I've done in about 3 years. We got stopped in March of 2020 with the whole pandemic situation. And so I hadn't worked since then. So this is wonderful to be out, but I'm usually used to doing it constantly. So I got it all down. So I had to kind of rebuild, and I took probably more than I need, and I'll drop some of it off on the way, but better be safe than sorry. Might as well take it. You can always drop it off later, but I got all my gear together, and the excitement of performing live again is almost overwhelming. I'm really, really excited.
It's got to be no better feeling to get on stage and hear the energy, the feedback. I know my first show to get out of the house. I live locally here in Poughkeepsie, New York, right near Daryl's house club, Daryl Hall's house club. And I would introduce the band. I remember my first show back, I'm hugging the bartenders. I'm hugging everybody going, boy, did I miss you folks. But yeah, it's got to be no better feeling than getting on stage and getting that energy and feeling that full feedback. And I'm hoping, man, those shows sell out. I know Richfield Playhouse in Connecticut sold out. I think tickets are pretty limited down New York and in New Jersey. I can't wait to see you in New Jersey. It's got to be super exciting for you.
Yeah, we got a lot of word. Our first show sold out, and a whole bunch more. Way deep into the tour, some stuff was already sold out too. So we're very grateful. We have amazing friends and fans out there, and people like yourself that are helping us out by playing our songs. And we are supremely grateful for everyone that has contributed to us and this band, and all of us individually as well as collectively. We really thank you all.
I mean, every day I have a different favorite. The more I listen to it, I'm like, oh yeah, breakthrough. I'm grabbing, and then I'm listening to Stars. I really love the flow of the album, Billy, from Xanadu, Kick Your Ass, Get Your Face, Here We Go, all the way to Red Wine. Was that something that the three of you say, let's work on it? I mean, it's your label, you produced it. Was there, do you have a little sit down and go, let's make this really work, that you can put the CD in or put the needle on and you just don't look back?
Well, sequencing of how the songs go one after the other is a very important thing. It's like a movie where you have, the car chase scene, the shoot 'em up scene, the love scene, whatever. It's paced a certain way, and movies are paced like that on purpose. And Mike is quite a fan of a lot of directors and knows a lot about how movies are put together. So we entrusted him with the sequencing, and he did a great job of it. Because when guys like you and I, when we grow up, you play one side of a record and all the songs would play, flip it over and do the other one. So there was a sequence to them. And sometimes if you heard it out of sequence, it didn't even sound right. So that, I think that's an element. We don't see it as much now because usually singles or one song, but we like to keep that element alive for those who want to go on a little trip, cinematic journey with us. Put it on, let it run through, and we'll meet you up at the end again. So I'm very pleased. And you're not the only person to comment on the sequencing, the idea of just letting the record play through and hear every song after each after the other, and see how they work with each other. It's a wonderful thing.
Is there a plan to put a third single out in a video while you guys are on tour, since you got Xanadu and Mad World out?
We probably will, especially since we're set up every night and performing. Get the video crew out and shoot us. We'll do a couple of dry run-throughs during the day, shoot those, and get the audience in there, and they can be the video stars as well.
Well, my listeners are going through the roof with Xanadu and Mad World, and I'm like, man, stars and rise and breakthrough. I'm like, my goodness. I'm not telling you, Billy, what needs to be on the set list. I mean, this is you got it. Whatever you guys are playing, I'm going to be jumping out of my socks for. This is going to be an awesome tour.
And again, so much for playing our songs and helping us out. We really do. We recognize it and are very thankful.
I saw that the recording was all done in Richie's house. Talk to me about the songwriting process. Is like I said before, I'm not a musician, but I think you mentioned before, files back and forth. I think you missed the chemistry if the 3 years aren't in a room together. Like, try this, try that. Wait, you got something there. I think you lose it with the file thing, and I get that people all over the world saying, "Hey, Billy, try this, listen to that." But wouldn't you? You got to be together, right?
I agree. All three of our records have been done with all of us in a little room, bouncing ideas back and forth. We did Stars. I started to do a little bass line, and Mike came with the drums, and Richie just started, and bang, there we are. We're off and running. Most songs are written like that. So an idea of a drum riff, a guitar chord change, a bass line, a lyric, a phrase. What do we build around this? And that's how a lot of great records were made back in the day. So that formula we'd like to stay true to, because I do believe when you're all together, also everybody's contributing to the song. It isn't one guy that we all got to learn. We're all giving our a part of it. So it becomes part of all three of our DNA, musical DNA. And I'm very pleased to be amongst talent like Richie and Mike, and combining everything that we all know through our experience. And so far, so good. I mean, the response to the record has been really overwhelming. I think we just popped back into #1 on the Amazon hard rock charts. So I'm not exactly certain about that, but that I've been seeing in the email chain that something's going on with that. And the sales has just been great. So I think that could be the proof, and that it is a righteous way to go about it.
Go out and buy it today if you haven't. I know you mentioned on your Instagram feed, Billy, about the vinyl. All the manufacturing is all backed up, and I know you're looking forward to getting that out.
Trying to push that. The vinyl is it takes, since so many people are putting up vinyl now, and we lost a couple of great vinyl pressing plants. One in LA burned down, so backed up. And then a lot of superstars now want to put theirs out, so that ties up the pressing plant for weeks or even months. So we're going as fast as we can. We appreciate everyone's patience. A lot of vinyl fans out there. We don't want to let them down. And I'm one too, and Mike Portnoy and Richie are too. So we're waiting for it ourselves.
I mean, go to that record store. I'm in an old dinosaur. I had to pull the plastic out, look at the jacket, look at the liner notes, who produced it, where the lyrics are, and it's great. I always tell people, Billy, it's great to go to Spotify and download it from your streaming platform, but if you run into these guys, they can't sign Spotify, but they can sign the album, they can sign the CD. I mentioned bass player. I mean, a 5-time best rock bass player. You got that beautiful light blue Yamaha, I want to say, right next to you. Talk to me about, I'm not as I mentioned, Billy, I'm not a musician, and my listeners always ask, you got to ask gear questions. So Billy, talk to me about your style. I know there's I read 2-hand tapping, 3-finger picking, the way you play. Talk to me about your bass, your #1 tool for the shows, and your style, and maybe advice for people that want to play bass.
Sure thing. I encourage people to play bass. It's a great entrance. You can play a lot of songs are very simple to play on bass. You don't need to know much of anything. That's a great way to open the door to playing music of any kind. I started very young, and I had my first bass was a P bass, precision bass. It's a Fender bass. Most people would recognize it, even non-musicians. And through the years, it got beat up and pounded and smashed, and it went through hell and thousands of gigs, literally. So when I first got out to LA in the mid 80s, Yamaha contacted me and said they'd like to make a custom bass that does everything I wanted to. So we took all the innovations, if you will, that I did on that bass. I added a pickup, I changed things, changed the neck, did various things, and they made a bass that does what my old bass turned into. And Yamaha did a great job of it. We have a couple of Facebook pages for the Yamaha Attitude bass. It's called the Attitude bass. A couple different pages of people that are fans of it that use it. We trade parts back and forth and refurbish the old ones. So it's a great honor to have a company take good care of me and make this bass. And I'll be using this on this tour. And I also have along a custom version of this that's made of acrylic, clear red acrylic. So It looks like it's made of wine. So the Winery bass will be joining me on stage with the Winery Dogs.
There you go. And it's red, just like the song, The Red Wine, I want to say, right? Yeah, the red wine. Absolutely. Well, Billy, I know you got a big line of people I want to talk to you, and I want to end mine. I hope when the tour is over, we get to chat more. I would love to talk more about Talus. I know the album 85 came out. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a chance to say hello to you. Go to thewinerydog.com, buy this as you can. Check out all the dates. The shows are going crazy. Get your ticket. There's a VIP experience. You can hang out and get a picture with Billy, Rich, and Mike and sit in the sound check. So you could do that. I might have to talk to the wife about that, but I'm itching. I can't wait. I'm clawing and I'm itching as the Winery Dogs are about to hit the road, which actually starts tomorrow. Anything else I could help promote for you, my friend?
You have done more than enough, Pat. Thank you so much for your kind words to all your listeners or watchers. I give you all the best, and hopefully I'll see a lot of you out there on the road. We're very, very excited about it.
We can't wait. And maybe, I did not tell you one more thing. I created Pat Calamari's 5 for It All. And you can check out my YouTube channel where I meet you or the guys before or after the show. And if you roll 5 of a kind, totaling in 3 rolls, Winery Dog, 3 rolls. I've been doing it for 2 years. I play the entire album on my radio show. And to see Billy Gibbons, my buddy Billy, pull out his dice, his own dice, or Paul Rogers, or Cheap Trick, or it's insane. It only takes 30 seconds or so. We videotape it. And Jesse Triplett, not to cut you off, from Collector Soul, was the only one so far to get a 5 for It All. And you thought we won the World Series, and I played their Collector Soul album Blood on my next radio show. So,
right on. Well, thank you again.
Absolutely. So if we want to roll the dice, you let me know, and I'll bring the dice with me to do that.
Please do. Yeah, that'd be great.
I love to do that. It doesn't get any better than this. The Winery Dogs, the rock legend himself, Billy Sheehan, right here on Pat Soundbytes Unplugged podcast. Keeping new music alive. Go out and get it today.
Thank you, Pat.